Hi, it's Andrew here from Underground Training, and if you want to talk to somebody that knows how the industry works, the phone number's at the end of the video. Job hunt and mining information video. Today's video, we are going to have a look at where the employers have got no choice but to hire new starters and see the best way that you can get a job out of it. So to start with, let's go and have a look at the gold price. So the gold price is well over $5,000 an ounce, and also the copper price in Australian dollars is over $15,000 a tonne. So these are the two areas of the industry where there's lots of activity, and this is where you're going to get your mining jobs. So if we jump over and we go straight into it and we type mining truck in, you'll see when you go through, majority of these jobs on the first page are all hard rock underground truck jobs. That's because the hard rock underground employers all have to have new starters as truck drivers because they don't have enough experienced truck drivers going around. And as you scroll through, you'll see entry level, expressions of interest, entry truck operation, expressions of interest, new project, underground truck driver, expressions of interest, and the jobs are all over Australia, South Australia. The other one, that was Queensland. There's jobs everywhere. WA, more expressions of experienced truck drivers. So everybody wants experienced, but if you've got 12 months truck driving experience, you're not looking for another truck job, you're looking for a service crew job because it pays 30 grand a year more than what the trucks pay. So that's why everybody's going up and doing that, and you can have a look through there. And what you won't see is a lot of surface entry-level truck driving jobs. There aren't any. The jobs are all looking for surface truck drivers, want at least 1 year's experience, if not more. A lot of the job ads now are asking for more than 2 years' experience. That says to me, having been in the industry for so long, that there's an oversupply of surface truck drivers, which there is at the moment. What there's an undersupply of is underground truck drivers. So if we go over and we type underground into Seek and give it a spin, you'll see there's lots of jobs come up, and all the entry-level jobs, underground truck, drillers offsider, even service crew and pace crew. The employers don't want to hire new starters for these jobs, but they need bums in seats at the moment, and it's just a matter of having to do what you got to do to keep your mine site running. But underground truck, driller's assistant, new operations, underground truck, expressions of interest, Agi driver underground, offsider. There's lots and lots of jobs. Nippers, Broken Hill, Agi operator. There's lots of work all over the country. Entry level, New South Wales. It's just work everywhere, and this is where they need bums in seats. So Hard Rock Underground is one place that they need bums in seats. The other place they need bums in seats is Drillers Offsiders. So if you give that a spin, you'll see all the entry-level Drillers Offsider jobs coming up. Now, the surface Drillers Offsider jobs, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. They're pretty full on and lots of physical work, and you've got to like camping. I tell everybody that if you're somebody that likes camping, then you're probably getting paid to do something that you like. But if you don't like camping, it's probably going to be one of the worst experiences that you have in your life. The difference between the surface offsiding and the underground offsiding is that the underground, the machines, the rigs are slightly smaller, the rods that you're pulling aren't as big, and also the big thing from my perspective is that you're in a camp. So with these jobs, you fly up to site, you get your own room, normally with your ensuite, somebody's cooking your dinner every night, you just go to work, you do your 12 hours, you come home, and you sort yourself out like that. With the surface jobs, they want you to do your 12 hours, and then you've got to cook dinner for everybody afterwards. So it's a full-on job like that. So just be aware that there's a big difference between being a surface driller's offsider and being an underground driller's offsider. I wouldn't wish being a surface driller's offsider on my worst enemy. It's a full-on job, and I know that the underground drillers offsider job is a lot better job than the surface one. So that's where I would be targeting my activity if you didn't like camping. If you liked camping, then surface drillers offsider is a great job. You're going to get paid for, money for jam for doing something that you like. The next one that I want to have a look at is the utility. So we've got a lot of resume companies running around telling everybody that the way into the industry is through a utility job. And I just want everybody to be aware that the new minimum wage has gone up to $24.95 an hour. So it's $25 an hour virtually, 5 cents off $25 an hour. On a 2-in-1 roster, $25 an hour on a 2-in-1 roster, 12-hour days, is $75,000 a year. So minimum wage for these utility jobs at $25 an hour is $75,000 a year. They're paying starting on $85, so it's just above minimum wage. And if you come down, you'll see that there's a whole heap of jobs that are just right on the minimum wage. So $76,000. And it goes all the way down, flat rates, and you can see it's $84,000, so that's a bit above the minimum wage. But yeah, you get the idea. They're just paying barely above the minimum wage for these utility jobs. The reason that they can get away with paying so little for these utility jobs is because they're a dead-end job. So what ends up happening is, I know I've shown this slide before, but a lot of these resume companies encourage you to go and do utility or bus driving or shutdown or something like that, spend a whole heap of money on these tickets to go the long way around to tell you that you can go and get a utility job and then progress into a mining production job. It doesn't work like that. The amount of people that I know that have progressed into a mining production job from a utility job over the 30 years that I've been involved, that I actually know that have done it, I can count on one hand. Utility jobs normally lead to more utility jobs because of the poaching rules. You get stuck in these jobs because if you go to a mine site and you start with a utility company and then you want to go to the production mining company, the poaching rules on most sites say that you've got to go off site for 6 months before you can come back on site with the new company. Now, what does that mean practically for everybody that starts as a utility job? Well, normally it means that they get up to site, they get into their job, and then after 2 to 3 months, so a couple of swings, they finally work out that they're not going to be able to get their mining production job, and so they're trapped into a dead-end job. So they either quit that utility job, go back to their job that they had before, or they just keep going with the utility job and just get trapped in it. So that's why I don't recommend that. If you want to go into mining, the DIY, it's $495. It teaches you how the actual mine works, and it's got all the information in there that the employers want you to know. So the DIY package is there. This is our page, how to get a hard rock underground mining job, the steps. So the steps are in identifying the right job, so understanding what job that you want. Do you want an underground truck driving job? Do you want a nipper's job? Do you want an offsider's job? What sort of job do you want to get? Then you need to educate yourself, so use the training to understand what's going to happen on site and all that sort of stuff. Then learn the hiring process. That all gets taken care of in the training. There's information to craft a strong resume, and there's stuff on preparing for an interview. If you do one of the training, if you do the 3-step plan or the Workready package, especially the Workready package, you'll get help with getting prepped. So it becomes the shift boss's job that's helping you to prep you for the interview, and they'll redo your resume in-house, and they'll come up with a plan to cast the widest net to get yourself a job. But you can do this with the DIY. Lots of people do. You can set yourself up. It's only $495. The best thing that I like about the DIY is that it's going to give you an accurate representation of what you're getting yourself into, and that means that you're going to be able to make an informed choice whether you actually want to go mining or not. So we get, out of 100 people, we get 35 to 40 people that go, holy shit, if that's what mining is, I don't want to do it anymore. And out of the other 60, we get 45 that go and study and get a job, not a problem. And then we always get 15 people that half-ass it, and they get the result that you expect when you half-ass something in life. But if you're trying to get into the mining industry at the moment, the best way is to go directly into the production mining job. That's where they need people. They don't need that many people on this side of the industry, unfortunately, because of the downturn in lithium and nickel. So if you're trying to get into the mining industry, the best way in is to educate yourself using one of the packages that we've got. There's lots of work all over the country. Like I said, these are the mines, these are the gold and copper mines around the country that are looking for people. Everybody's having to hire new starters for their hard rock underground mines and surface exploration. Nobody wants to because it costs them a lot of money because they go through a lot of people, unfortunately, when they hire new starters. But this is where the employers need entry-level people. They need bums in seats. They've got no choice. Everywhere else in the industry at the moment, because of the lithium and nickel downturn, they've all got access to experienced people. The two areas of the industry that they don't have access to experienced people are hard rock underground and surface exploration. There are a few utility jobs going at the moment, but there always are, because there's always a huge turnover of utility people. Once they work out that the utility job's just a dead-end job and it's not going to lead you to a mining production job. So I hope you found that information helpful, and if you've got any questions about how to get into the industry, or you've got any questions about how the industry works, please send them through. And if you want to talk to somebody that knows how it all works and that can help you get into the industry, the phone number's at the end of the video.